Hello everyone, I am Dr. Swapnili Karmore. Let's study concept of real-time operating system. In this series lectures, I am going to introduce computer control system, flow diagram, the concept of composing control program, the basic theory of programming, sequence control, direct digital control, supervisory control and adaptive control system. So we will start with flow diagram. In the flow diagram, symbol, meaning and explanation table is given. The first symbol is used for starting and ending. The explanation is the start or end point of the flow diagram. This symbol is used for start or end point of the flow diagram. The next symbol is used for processing. It processes a specific work, for example, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. The third symbol is used for input output. To do an output or input work, for example, inputting some numbers or inputting some measurement from the temperature sensor. Next symbol is used for decide, commonly including a comparative condition. If the condition is met, the work will be done. If the condition is not met, the other work will be assigned. The next symbol is used for subprogram. Subprogram are the groups of set of work together to form another program. This can be used anywhere in the flow diagram to simplify it. The next symbol is the circle, which is used for a join. To join to separate flow diagram, then last symbol is used to join the other page. To join two flow diagrams on different pages, mark is usually used. So in the case of flow diagram, if we will see this example, here the starting point is given with that symbol and ending point is again, and the program is like, first, we have to set the required temperature of 98 C into the variable T, which is shown in the square rectangle. Then switch on the electric heater to heat up water. Use the program to control the procedure of the switching on the electric heater. Third step, which is denoted by the symbol, where the temperature measured by the temperature sensor is entered into the variable W. Then this is a decision making block, generally denoted by diamond. Compares the values entered into the variable W and T to make decision. And last is, if the value of variable W is larger than the value of variable T, then turn off the electric heater. Use the program to control the turn off procedure of the electric heater. Means via that symbol we can be successfully draw this flow chart for a particular program. It is an example of a flow diagram. Now, the next point is the concept of composing control program. The concept of composing control program can be obtained via high level language and low level languages. Second, by using the machine code. Third is by using assembly language. So, we will see what is high level language and low level language. In here, the computer program that are relatively similar to human languages are called high level language. Every command will instruct the computer to do certain job. High level language include basic Pascal, C, etc. So high level languages are easier to use and understand, but it requires a relatively long time to translate into binary number, which the computer can process. The operating speed is usually slower. If higher speed is required, we can use some compiler to translate the program beforehand. The language that are closer to the computer program language are called low level languages, while their operation speed are relatively higher. Low level languages include machine code, assembly language, etc. Low level languages are used more commonly in a computer control system to increase the operating speed of the computer. So it is clear now what is the difference between low level language and high level languages. So we will see one example. In a computer program, it is a set of instruction we know. This instruction control the computer to process data input. The following figure shows an example of a computer program. In the program, the lines of instruction follow in order and the computer will process the input data according to their order. Data and commands can be number, alphabet, punctuation or symbol, objectively called the character. This is an example of a computer program where input x stands for input a number and then put it into x equals to x plus 1, where we are going to add 1 to the number in x and then put into variable x. Then we are going to printing it by using print x, print out the number in x, and end is used for end of the program. Okay, so basic program and its explanation. That flowchart is explained here, where t equals to 19.8. Here we are going to set the required temperature of 98 degrees C into the variable t. Then in another line, it is responsible to switch on the electric heater to heat up water. Use sub program to control the procedure of switching on the electric heater. Then third is used for sensor activity, where the temperature value measured by the temperature sensor is entered into the variable W. If W is greater than T, then 120, else 140. Here we have set the condition where compare the values entered into the variable W and T to make the decision, and Gauss filter underscore off. If the value of variable W is larger than the variable T, then turn off the electric heater. Use subprogram. This is the subprogram to control the turn off procedure of the electric heater. This is the explanation for control program composed by using the basic. Okay, so this is the high level and low level language detail. Now we will see the next part, which are used for composing the control. The second point is the machine code, where in the machine code, as a processor can process a command that is composed by 8 bits at one time. Then the command may be arranged as follows, like 10110111, or 1000101, or 0111000110, etc. So here one example is given where hexadecimal number is a method that can be used to represent machine code, and hexadecimal number can be converted into binary. Here the example is given that how this hexadecimal number is converted into the binary. Figure also shows that each hexadecimal number can be represented by a combination of 4 binary digits. Therefore, an 8-bit command can be simplified into 2 hexadecimal number command. For example, this can be represented by B3 and this can be represented by APIP. All this we have studied in our previous years. Okay, so we will not take it in detail. This is the table. It is an exchange table for hexadecimal number, means 000 is denoted by 0. Then for 1, 2, 3, 4 up to F. Okay, so we know it very well, so I will not repeat it. Now the next point is assembly language. Here the commands of the assembly language are simple in English. For example, if we will take an example of LDA, it represented taking out of data from the accumulator of a computer, and JSR represent the jumping to the subprogram. Every command is usually composed by two parts. The first part corresponding to the processing work, called operation code. It instructs the operation of the computer. Then the following part is the data required by the operation, called operand or arithmetic element. After composing the program using instruction sentences, we have to assemble the whole program into the corresponding binary number machine code for the computer to run. This assemblage work can be done manually or by some special software called assemble. Now we will see the next point, that is the basic theory of the programming. The basic theory of the programming can be obtained by the use of systematic method, by using meaningful name in the program, then composing the initializing module, then deciding the input output and processing module, by adding the debugging decide, and beware of the execution mode. The basic theory of programming contains these topics and we will see one by one. The first one is the use of systematic method. We know that if we are a good programmer, and a good programmer can compose a program independently. So but when the program become much larger and complicated, a group of programmer will need to cooperate with each other. So a systematic method and some standardized tool will be needed to help the collaboration. A common systematic method is a design from the top to bottom. Firstly, Divide the whole program into number of main section called main module. Then use same simple block diagram to show the relationship between these two. For example, this is shown in here where figure 26a, in the figure the whole system is divided into few main module like a b c d x plan, and then main module are then divided into some smaller module, means d is divided into 1 2 3 4. It may happen because if we will use the bottom up or top up hierarchy, then this type of thing will be occur. So we have to first divide the program and then we have to program for each code in detail. Now the next point is we have to prefer a meaningful name. We know that when composing a program, we should not choose some meaningless word or some simple alphabet as the name of the module or variable. This will make the program relatively hard to understand, and also it would be difficult or later modification of the program. So a meaningful name that links to the related function is preferable. For example, if we use a computer program to control the furnace temperature, we may use furnace underscore temp to represent it. Hence, we can understand the program more easily. However, some program may not allow logical name, for example, assembly language, but it is possible to add some names in the program to explain the meaning of the program. This will decrease the speed of coding, it will delay the speed of debugging. The next point is composing the initializing module. A program can include different module, for example subprogram, and the one that should be composed firstly is the initializing module. The function of initializing module are to clear all the original programmer in the computer memory and to restore and reassign the cable for input and output. The initializing module should be saved after composing so that it can be used again later. The next point is deciding the input, output and processing module. A program usually consists of different input, output and processing module. Output module correspond to transfer of signal to the electronic circuit that are out of the system and there is no feedback available. The program will keep running after these modules are processed. Processing module require the input of at least one signal and it will give out a signal as a feedback. For example, in a binary number system to decimal number system converting module, the input binary number will be processed and converted into decimal number and the resulting decimal number will be feedback to the program. The next point is beware of execution mode. It is very important because the output value shouldn't impose any bad influence whereas the program execute. If not, the influence equipment will stay and keep running at the last mode. For example, the washing machine should stop running wherever the control program is executed. If not, washing machine will keep running continuously. Because we know that as earlier I told you that what is the example of the real time operating system, that is nothing but the washing machine. If we will use the automated washing machine, then we have to embed that programming chip into the electromechanical device to make it automated one, and we have to provide a proper functionality to that washing machine so that it will do the intended behavior. Then next point is deciding the input, output and processing module. Input modules corresponding to collecting information from the electronic circuit that are out of the system, and they also correspond to the transfer of that information into the program. For example, the module correspond to the reading of signal or checking of a specific word condition at the interface port. Next point is adding the debugging decide. There are always some mistake when composing a complicated program. It is better to add some debugging design in different part to avoid wrong interruption of the program. For example, when the pressing of Y or N button on the keyboard is assigned for the next step of the program, we should make sure that there will no response when any other button is pressed. This design can make the program more user friendly, because we know that unless and until you will not develop a system project or program user friendly, it is useless. Then we will study what are the activities which being carried out in a computer in a real time system. So that are nothing but a data acquisition, sequence control, direct digital control, supervisory control, data analysis, data storage and human computer interface. We will see some of this. The we will the objective of using a computer in real time system is efficiency of operation, ease of operation, safety, improved product, reduction in waste, reduce environmental impact, reduction in direct labor. So first upon we will see the activities which being carried out by a computer in real time system. So first is a data acquisition. In data acquisition we have to acquire the data in order to perform the transaction of the data. And the very popular control used in real time system is sequence control. For explanation of the sequence control, I have taken a simple chemical reactor vessel diagram. Here the sequence control system are widely used in the food processing and chemical industries. So here some steps are given. We will first see the procedure for this simple reactor and I will explain you the concept. Then first here we have to open wall A. Then we have to check the level of chemical 1. Then we have to start the stirrer to mix the chemical reactor. Then we have to repeat step 1 2 with wall B. Then switch on the PID controller. We have to monitor the reaction temperature. When it reaches to set point, start a timer. And when the timer indicates that the reaction is complete, switch off the controller and open wall C to cool down the reactor content. Switch off the stirrer. For this, if we have to develop a project, then we have to use relays in our system. Controller is required to provide control over the thing, and some sensor is used in order to check the water level of the simple chemical reactor vessel. So it is known as the sequence control. Why it is so? Because see here there are several walls are present. After the wall, control walls are also present. Here several walls are present and this wall operation can be happen in sequentially. Means one operation is dependent on the previous one, and sequentially we have to provide control over the pouring of water, then stirring the mixture and providing temperature to the particular chemical. So it is known as the sequence control. It is very popular method in the computer control system. Then second, we can monitor the temperature when the content have cooled upon volley to remove the product from the reactor. Means it is the complete diagram and complete process, and we have to convert it into the programming way. Then the another type of control which is popularly used in our real time system is known as the direct digital control. In order to provide sequence control, because there are several disadvantage, if we don't want to waste the time, then we will provide the direct digital control. In this case, the computer is in the feedback loop of the system. It is critical component in term of reliability of the system. In the event of a failure of computer, the system remain in a safe condition. And the advantage for DDC or analog control are what? We can able to reduce the cost, we can able to improve the performance, and we can able to provide safety to our device. Here direct digital control diagram is given. Here digital computer is here. Processes are inputted to the device, and human or computer supervision is there, where human can be able to set points with the measured variables, and we will get the process output which is feedback to the measured variable compared, and as per our requirement we can able to get the output. Another popular control is known as supervisory control. As its name is that there is a need of supervisor here. We know that many of early computer control schemes use the computer in a supervisory role and not for direct digital control. The main reason for this were computer were not always very reliable, and caution dictated that the plant should still be able to run in the event of computer failure. Okay, because if there is a failure of light, and if sometimes generator will not work, then it is very difficult for there. And if plant is doing very important work, that time it can't, it is not tolerable that the work is not going on. So this is not preferred in traditionally, or sometime it is preferred or sometime not. Then computers were very expensive and it was not economical be able to replace the analog control equipment in a current use. The diagram is given of supervisory control, where one different processes are given, and human and computer supervision are there. We can the human can be able to provide the set point, and the measured values are compared with the process output. See that what is the difference between supervisory control and the direct digital control. In the direct digital control via computer we are providing the control, and here supervisory control via particular observer or supervisor we are providing control. Another type of control is known as adaptive control. In the case of adaptive control can take several forms. The three of the most common are pre-program adaptive control, self-tuning control, and model reference adaptive control. Here general structure of feed-forward control configuration is given. Here disturbance, measurement, controller, and this process is responsible to provide the measured output uh, as compared with the unmeasured output. Then another example is given programmed adaptive control, where controller is there, process is given to the adjustment mechanism and it is put back to the controller. Some points are set in the initial level, and when we will get output, the output is put back to the input in order to provide the controlled mechanism. It is a programmed adaptive control. Here auxiliary measurement is used. The another type of control is known as centralized computer system. The figure is like this, where computers are present, computer A, computer B, and a switch is there, some standard peripherals there. Standard peripherals are responsible to manage the information. Switch is used for controlling station. Interface and plant is there, interface and plant is connected, and this is the dual computer scheme. That means if computer A will fail, the computer B will run. We know that most of the 1960s computer control system implied the use of one central computer for the control of the whole plant. The reason for this was largely financial. Computers were very expensive. By 1970, the cost of computer hardware had reduced to such an extent that it became feasible to consider the use of dual computer system. So automatic failure and change over equipment when used becomes a critical component. The continued reduction of the cost of hardware and the development of the microprocessor has made multi-computer system feasible. This fall in two types. First is known as hierarchical system, where tasks are divided according to function. Example, one computing performing direct digital control, and another is known as distributed system. Many computer will use fall in this similar task, where similar tasks run in parallel. So in the centralized computer system we have to remember two important things. The two types, that are nothing but a hierarchical system and distributed system. छान झालं.